It's International Coaching Week, and it's from May 13th to May 19th. And so I am interviewing some of my favorite coaches, people that I love talking to about coaching, who I have been coached by in some cases. The goal of International Coaching Week this year is to celebrate the power and impact of coaching. And so I'm interviewing my friend Katie, who I met when we were doing Wayfinder training with Martha Beck. We've coached each other, we've practiced on each other, and I really like Katie's style and how she goes about coaching and kind of the mindset she brings to coaching. So I wanted to interview her. So Katie, feel free to introduce yourself and tell us how you came to coaching.
Thank you very much for thinking of me. I love you and you're a wonderful coach.
Thank you.
So I'm Katie Brown, and I came to coaching through experiencing coaching, working with coaches, doing different programs with coaches, and just the power of that space, being able to be held in a space where you're witnessed, and, just to be able to find ways to trust yourself again.
Yeah.
And just that impacted my life so much that it brought me to decide to do it.
Very cool. Very cool. I love it.
Continue the practice while off.
Yes, exactly. Oh, and I think you have an interesting background because you've done different kinds of things, but this is sort of the thing that I think, just from talking to you, feels the most sort of like, ooh, that it really touches a part of you that you get excited about.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
So maybe talk to us a little bit about who is your like favorite type of client, or the kind of the ideal client that when you are working with them, you're like, yes, this is a good match.
So I love when someone comes in and just has this openness to see just maybe one different perspective of a situation, and just seeing that reaction of, oh, there's another possibility here. So I love to just see how that can kind of open their world a bit.
Yeah.
And so that's my favorite, is just like, let's just explore what else could be possibly going on.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that idea. I think there's such a often in coaching, what I find is like some people just need to be heard, right?
Yeah.
To talk, and they need to be heard
Mhm.
by someone else, a witness, but also by themselves, right?
Yeah.
There's such beauty in being able to just say, hey, let's think about this from a different angle.
Yeah. Yeah. And what can come from you when someone offers you that question? Because it can help you step back, and it comes out of you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, I love that. And I know, like, for you, there's an element, I don't know if you're comfortable talking about this or not, but there's an element of like, you have an astrology kind of practice. You really liked the work of Byron Katie when we did that work. Is there anything in particular that you just really love to bring to your coaching and I mean, I'm not those things necessarily, that's just pieces that I know about. But how do you kind of piece together the tools that you love to use the most?
That's what I was just going to say. It's like the more little tools you have to work with, how helpful that can be. So like with astrology, just having someone's natal chart in the background, and as I listen, if something grabs my attention, I can offer some reflection, and that can just help open up this, oh, so this makes sense. I can really creatively work with this.
Yeah.
And then Byron Katie's work I like a lot. It can be really difficult to do at times. But I do like how it just opens up a tightness in me I'm really struggling with.
Yeah, for sure. No, and I think like thinking about like having the chart and all of that, I know even just having been coached by you and you having my chart, there was an opportunity there for you to say, oh, that actually makes sense given your chart. And I'm like, why? Why does that make sense? Because I don't know enough about it. Right. And so then you can kind of lean in and explain something that I'm like, oh, okay, that's not a failure on my part. It's part of kind of who I am and my background or whatever. Right.
Yeah, and brings out this creative possibility to notice a pattern, and that we have this capability to shift our pattern slowly.
Totally. No, I love that.
Ours.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. Like all of the different kind of tools we have in our toolkit, then
Mhm.
when we're talking to someone, because everybody's different. And so sometimes
Yeah,
something that you think might work with someone, you start and you're like, that's not going to work.
yeah,
So having access to different tools can be it's such a benefit to the practice of coaching.
yes, yeah. Hmm.
So tell me, like, if you were going to dispel a myth in coaching, or you wanted people to know something about coaching, what is it? What do you want people to know?
I think for me, when you hear the word coach, it's you're going to be told what to do. And that's not this type of coaching, which that can be great in that setting of coaching, but this coaching, it's not, I am going to solve your problems and tell you exactly what to do. It's really giving the power to the person and just, using the tools, using the power of the present moment to help, hold that space for the person to come up with their own answers. So almost coaching them back to your true wisdom, your true self. So I noticed that probably the most that comes up, like, well, what am I supposed to do?
I don't know. I say a lot, like often in a coaching session, especially after I've coached someone for a while, I will ask them like, "What do you want?" And if
Mhm.
they say, "I don't know," I'm like, "Me either."
Yeah.
I don't know what you want either. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
oh, okay, well, then we have to figure that out, right? And so that's for me, often there's this little moment when that happens that the partnership kind of opens up a bit.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
waiting to give them an answer that I'm like, I don't know what you want. I barely know what I want. How would I know what you want?
Yeah. And that patient space of this doesn't need to be done fast. Like, let's, one step at a time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No, I love that. I really do. And I think there can be some misconceptions about the role of a coach and giving advice versus, asking questions versus, like what does that look like? And I think it's super
Mhm.
that people understand like it's a lot more about you have the answers, so let's get them out of you, right?
Yes.
Playing that
Yeah.
role. So
Yeah.
important. Anything
Yeah.
else you want people to know about coaching and why you do it or anything like that?
Well, it it keeps me doing my own work. And so in our program, one of our core principles was live it to give it. And I've loved that so much in so many different aspects of life. So I'm so grateful
Yeah,
that I get to do this, and it keeps me doing what feels um so right for me to do.
I love that. I love that. And so are you currently accepting new clients? Like where? Okay.
Yes. And so people can reach me at my email, enliven-u, just the letter U, at outlook.com.
Awesome. And it'll be right here below us as well for anybody who just heard Katie say that. It'll be written out so that you can see it. And they can reach out to you and have some good
Yeah.
coaching. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And I offer the free 30-minute consultation, just to get to know each other, see if we're a right fit. And so I look forward to meeting new people.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, Katie, thank you for letting me interview you.
Thank you.
And we'll be talking soon, I'm sure.
Yes, we will.
All
Thank
right.
you
I
so
love you
much.
too.
Oh.